Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. And tonight on Small Giants, we're putting the spotlight on TeleRickshaw and Gravity. Are you constantly harassed by auto rickshaw drivers who refuse to ferry you where you want to go? Is flying by the meter an alien concept for most auto drivers in your city? Well, eliminating the daily challenges of unregularized fares, safety and the refusal to ply on particular routes is an Indore-based startup, TeleRickshaw. This enables citizens to book their rickshaw ride with an app helping them to travel safely, smoothly and on time. Karishma Manjani has more.
Section 178, subsection 3 of the Motor Vehicles Act, any three-wheeled vehicle refusing me a ride to any location is a punishable offence. But guess what? A startup in a Tier 2 city came with a solution to this problem. TeleRickshaw. TeleRickshaw is your auto aggregator that enables you to book your three-wheeled ride on an app. I spoke with the CEO of this startup to get you more details. So what was the motive behind TeleRickshaw here? There are multiple transport aggregators out there, but you chose to focus on auto rickshaws. And that's a transport sector that's both unorganized and fragmented. So what made you be an auto aggregator?
What I believe is, if you talk about the major rides in a city, is most with the rickshaws. If you talk about any of the rides through public transport, rickshaws are a major volume which takes you across the city and which helps in commutation. Organizing this sector is far more important than any other mode of transport. This is where when I talk to the drivers, they are themselves not aware how many customers they serve a day, how much they earn, monthly income they save, and the expenditure they incur on per kilometer. They're not aware about anything. So this is where I feel like if we start tracking their expenditure, tracking their rides, tracking their daily income, and tracking how much they can serve and the duration they spend on the roads, and the duration, on that duration, how much they serve the customers, is what we want to make them assure. And this is where the idea was born, like make them feel responsible that what best they can do in that span of time if they're on roads.
So in your journey towards onboarding 6,500 rickshaw drivers in 12 cities, all on your app, did you face any challenges or hesitancies from these local drivers in terms of conveying your idea, your vision, and the technology behind this app?
To be very honest, technology was not a big constraint. The biggest constraint which we had in this sector was to actually bring them on board, to bring them under our umbrella, because they were very resistive to being tracked, to being monitored, and this is where the biggest barrier was.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Karanvir, when you first started, you had the option of choosing investor funding, but instead of that, you went with the PPP model. You went with government support. What was the reason behind that, and what have been the benefits of the same?
I think TeleRickshaw is itself a case study in this domain, in this topic, and it's not just TeleRickshaw. I would say it's a domain where everyone should focus, the domain of public-private partnerships. Just because today's government is very aggressive about bringing a change, and this is an era of evolution wherein we actually need to sync with the mission of government. In today's scenario, everyone after starting up or even before starting up starts looking for angel funding, for investors, for VCs. And if you talk about TeleRickshaw, the things which we started doing, it was something which was actually a mission of government to regulate this industry, to regulate the meter rates, to abide by the government rules, to abide by the traffic police. And this is what government realized, that the work these guys are doing are actually the part of their mission.
Karanvir, if you're talking about transport aggregators, we cannot ignore Ola and Uber. They're fairly big in the space. And what I'm looking to understand is, what's your edge? What does TeleRickshaw offer to its consumers that's different?
Like I always say, life is not just to make an income, it's to make an impact. And our motive is not just going by the discounts, not just going by the offers, just to go for the customer acquisition. What we believe is to make it sustainable on a longer term. And this is where TeleRickshaw is actually working on the principle of making system more reliable and more safe. Even other aggregators are there in the market. One or another day, you used to hear a lot of cases of different mishaps. And this is where we have an edge of trust, a credibility. Being a government backing company, we felt even if they are offering discounts or free rides, they are just on the mission of acquiring customers. But end of the day, if you talk about the finances behind, that these people are burning today and we are earning today, and this is the reason we are still only in the space in this country who's profitable, who's sustainable, and who's still expanding well.
So since we're talking about models, I want to understand what is your source for revenue here?
See, in TeleRickshaw, we got a huge volume of customers every day, and being into 12 odd cities, we are having a base of 430,000 customers till date. We have more than 70% repeated customers, and that's just because of the reliability and the trust we have made in the industry. If I talk about the revenue model, we simply charge 10% of the ride fare or maybe the trip fare. We actually have a lot of packages for the customers, for the clients like TVS, like Honda, who are actually collaborated with us for different campaigns. These rickshaws travel more than 200 kilometers a day, 150 to 200 kilometers. If I talk about a single rickshaw, it catches more than 10,000 eyeballs a single day, which is a huge source of branding.
Let me quickly wrap up this interview. Every entrepreneur believes that his growth, his revenue will tailwind in larger cities. But TeleRickshaw started in a tier 2 city, Indore, and it has been expanding in smaller cities. Why is that?
First, I would like to tell you about the segmentation. In every sector, there is your segmentation, your target audience. If you talk about rickshaws, it's really in the roots of tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And this is where people are adopting us so well, more than cabs, and because that real market lies in these areas. If you talk about the volumes, if you talk about the daily rides, it's uncomparable to the cabs. The rickshaws are in huge demand.
With the hand-holding from the state government, Indore Traffic Police and the support of Indore's citizens, TeleRickshaw is now eliminating the challenges of unregularized fare. तो अब पूरा इंदौर बोलेगा,
भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे,
भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे, भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे,
भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे,
भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे, भैया मीटर से ही चलेंगे, भैया मीटर से चलेंगे।